4 out of 10 meetings my sales team booked never actually happened. And we were doing everything you're supposed to do. We were sending out reminders, confirmations, follow-ups, but it didn't matter. I'm going to show you the system I built to fix it and exactly how it works. I'm Brett. I built MeetMatch, and I've been running a sales team for a few years. For most of that time, I thought our pipeline was healthy. Reps were booking calls, the numbers on the dashboard looked good, but when I actually sat down and audited what happened to those meetings, 40% of them were gone, canceled, rescheduled, or the prospect just never showed up. And here's the thing about no-shows that nobody talks about. It's not one lost meeting, it's an hour where your rep is sitting alone in a Zoom room doing nothing. It's 2 days where the SDR is chasing the same prospect to reschedule instead of finding a new pipeline. And the worst part? Your forecast still counts that meeting as if it's going to happen. So you think you're at 80% of target when you're really at 60. Industry data says that a single no-show costs about $730 when you add up the marketing dollars that got them there and the prep time. On a 5-person team running 200 meetings a month, that's not just a rounding error, it's a 6-figure pipeline hiding inside your calendar. So we did what every team does. We added more reminders, emails, SMS, the whole shebang, and it barely made a difference. I couldn't understand why. Then I looked at the data differently. A prospect who books a meeting same day has a 7% chance of not showing up. A prospect who books 8 days out, now we're up to 47%. That's not the same situation, that's not even close, but our system is treating them identically. Same reminder, same timing, same everything, same no-shows. And that was the moment that it clicked for me. This isn't a reminder problem, it's a prediction problem. And if I can predict which meetings are at risk before they happen, I can actually do something about it, instead of spamming everybody with the same, "Don't forget your meeting, please attend" email. And that's exactly what we built MeetMatch to do. The moment a prospect books, MeetMatch is pulling together 124 signals, where they're located, what industry they're in, their company size, how they found you, when they booked, how far out the meeting is, what they wrote on the intake form, and it runs all of that through a prediction model. And what comes back is a simple number, the percentage chance this prospect won't show up. So instead of just seeing 3 p.m. Breton from MeetMatch, I see 3 p.m. Breton from MeetMatch, 72% no-show risk. And that changes everything because now I can act on that. And MeetMatch does act on it automatically. One of 4 different ways depending on how risky the meeting is. The first intervention is smart confirmations. If a meeting is low risk, say 15%, it gets a standard confirmation, nothing changes. But if it comes back at 50%, 60%, MeetMatch starts a tailored outreach sequence. If they booked a demo about team scheduling, the confirmation will reinforce why the demo matters, and then they will get an SMS the morning of, and a final nudge the hour before. The idea isn't just to remind them, it's to warm them up. By the time they get on the call, they're more bought in than they thought they would have been, which doesn't just reduce no-shows, it actually improves your close rate on the meetings that do happen. The second intervention is risk routing. And honestly, this one had the biggest impact on our numbers. Here's how it works. If a meeting comes back as high risk, MeetMatch automatically reroutes it away from your top closers and assigns it to a development rep instead. I know this might sound harsh, send the risky meetings to the junior reps, but think about what the alternative is. Because right now, your best closer, the person generating the most revenue per hour, is spending 40% of their calendar on meetings that are never going to happen. That is insane. With risk routing, their calendar is protected. Every meeting on it is actually somebody who's going to show up, and the development reps, they know the deal. These are real at-bats where they get to practice, and some of those meetings won't happen, sure, but it's low-stakes practice time, not lost revenue. So far, that's 2 interventions. Smart confirmations for medium-risk meetings, and risk routing for high-risk ones. But what about the time slot itself? Even if you reroute the meeting, the slot is still at risk of being empty. That's where the next 2 come in. Our third solution is overbooking the meeting. And I know this word sounds aggressive, like an airline booking passengers, but it's not like that. Here's what actually happens. If a meeting slot has a high-risk meeting, MeetMatch opens that same slot for a backup prospect to book into. So now you've got 2 people on the same slot. If the original prospect confirms, the backup is automatically rescheduled to the next available time. They'll never know. It's seamless. But if the original cancels or doesn't show, the backup fills, the gap for your rep's hour isn't wasted, and this alone cuts the no-show impact in half. Somebody is going to be in that meeting. And finally, we have the nuclear option. For the extreme cases, 85-90% no-show probability, MeetMatch can skip the calendar entirely and redirect them to a video sales letter or a landing page instead. They still get your pitch, they still get value, but you're not burning an hour of your rep's time on someone who almost certainly wasn't going to show. And here's the clever part. If the VSL re-engages them and they come back and book again, they're now a warmer lead, their behavior has changed, and their risk score drops. That way they enter the normal flow and they'll get to talk to one of your awesome reps. So that's the system. Predict the risk and then act on it. 4 different ways, match to different severities. The low risk is going to flow through normally, medium risk is going to get smart confirmations, high risk gets rerouted and overbooked, extreme risk doesn't hit your calendar at all. But no-shows are only half of the equation. The other half is something most scheduling tools don't even attempt: matching the right prospect to the right rep. Most teams just use round robin, everyone gets the same number of meetings, and this sounds fair, right? The problem is your reps aren't the same. On our team, our best closer had a 61% win rate. The worst had a 31% win rate. Same leads, same pricing, same product. The only difference was who was in the room. Round Robin is ignoring that completely. It treats a senior closer the same as somebody who just started last month. But MeatMatch looks at each prospect, their industry, their use case, their size, and matches them to the rep most likely to close that specific deal. Not the next person in the rotation, the right person. When you combine that with no-show protection, you get a system where meetings actually happen and one where the right person is sitting in the right room when these meetings occur. And for the ones who slip through, MeatMatch automatically sends personalized recovery sequences. No manual chasing, no prospect lost in a spreadsheet somewhere. On our 5-person team, this system produced a 55% revenue increase. We didn't hire anyone new, we didn't buy more leads, we just made the meetings we already had actually count. But honestly, the number that mattered to me the most wasn't the revenue. It was watching my reps actually enjoy their day. They show up knowing every meeting is happening on their calendar is real. They aren't gonna sit sadly staring at an empty Zoom room. No one's getting burned out from chasing ghosts. 2/3 of the sales reps say that they experience burnout. And no-shows are a huge part of why. Fixing that changed our team's energy as much as it changed our numbers. I built this first for me because I needed it. No tool I could find was doing what I needed, predicting which meetings were at risk, and then actually doing something about it before the slot was wasted. So I built it for my team, and now other teams are using it too. If you're a solo rep dealing with this, MeatMatch is absolutely free. Not a trial, it is just free forever. If you're running a team, try Pro for 30 days and see what it does to your numbers. Links in the description. No-shows are not just a scheduling problem. They are costing you revenue. Revenue that MeatMatch can get back for you. Give us a try today, increase your revenue without changing your sales team or your pipeline.